What's up, everybody? This is Simone, aka author S.D. Johnson, and also the owner of Black Phoenix Reading Rebirth. And we are coming at you with another author spotlight. And I'm really excited for you guys to get to know this amazing author, Miss Anya Jaleane. And basically, she's a local author here in Sacramento. She's going to share about herself, just her journey, and the different books that she has. And we actually met at an author, what is it, like an author fair?
Seat at the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Seat at the Table Author Fair. And she gave me this amazing book. So this is Benjamin's dream of owning his own business. So I got this, brought it home to my kiddos. I have twins that are 10, and my girl twin, she ate it up. So this is a really good one. So I encourage you guys to go out there and get it. So yeah, just start off. Tell us about who you are, your journey.
Well, I want to thank you, Simone, for having me. I'm really proud of what you're doing because it's not all the time that we as authors get that kind of spotlight. And when we do, we really appreciate it. I love writing. I've been writing since I was very young. I remember my mom and my sister, older sister, gave me a book. I was very shy to read. And when they gave me that book, it just turned on a light in my head. And to me, they were saying to me, you can read. And it opened up a whole new world for me. And it was when my mother actually passed in 2020. It wasn't of COVID. She just wanted to see us, and she had some things going on, and it was just so sudden. And I know we don't talk about that a lot, but it was high blood pressure, and she's a very healthy woman. So, and she was a storyteller. And it was that moment after, saying goodbye to my mother, it was 3 months after just that soaking in, that she became my muse, one of my muses. And it was like she was saying, right, right, right. You're good at it. Do it, do it. And I wrote my first children's book in college. And I knew I had a knack for writing, but it wasn't until that dear presence in that physical sense left that I understood that I need to do this. And so I took my college work. It was 3 stories I'd written: Johari and the Big Yellow Moon. It was also the Shabby Greenhouse on Tulip Street, which is I have right here. And this is done on California Live. And it was also Tasha Ain't Afraid of No Boogeyman. One of them, it didn't make it out of college because a woman was really smitten with my writing. And she said, Anya, can I read this tonight at a big conference? And I said, sure. And I never saw her again. And I don't remember the piece. And so it made me even more appreciative of what I did have. And so all my writings have been to New York with me and back to California. And I recently, I've written 15 children's books. I have a novel coming out, and I've written a book of poems because my mother loved riddles. I finally figured it out. And then, of course, I'm a poet. So I've written 4 books of poems, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful because the community, most especially the Black community of where I'm at, I call it my brick and mortar. So every first and third Saturday, I'm there at Florence Square Mall. And they call it the African market during that time. It's just all kind of entrepreneurs there. I'm blessed for that. But it's been a journey, and I just haven't stopped. I have not stopped because I finally got it that it's a gift. I need to use it to help children. I want our children to see themselves in a positive light. I want them to know that our stories are ordinary too. I mean,
absolutely.
And so I'll talk about the snow with Mandela and his locks and his first day of school. I'll talk about Josephine Snowflake Sky, and she's waiting for all the beautiful things that are getting ready to happen during the festivities of Christmas. I'll talk about, of course, the Shabby Greenhouse on Tulip Street. Margarita, it's more than meets the eye in that shabby house there. And it also introduces the children to gardening. So these stories come from everywhere. I listen to people. I pull on my own childhood wonder. I had a lot of freedom growing up. Cornfields and open space and the wind and rain and sun.
Where
Uh,
did you grow up?
Owensboro, Kentucky. Yeah, so
Kentucky. Okay, okay.
my first love was really nature before I even recognized, everything else. I recognized the sun, and I love the smell of honeysuckle. So what I do with my stories is I just take all of that beauty that Mother Nature has here for us. And I intertwine all of that together with my stories. And I absolutely feel blessed that I'm able to tell these stories.
I love your heart and I love how you draw on inspiration. And even when we were speaking at the African market, the last, was it the third Saturday? I think
Yeah, it
we
was
were
the
there
third
last weekend.
Saturday.
Yeah. So you were telling me about one of the newer projects you're working on, just teaching the kids
Yes.
about grief. And so I
Oh,
just love how you're able to take these harder lessons in life and really bring them into that child eye view. So if you want to share about that, please
yes, thank
do.
you. It took a while because as a writer, I'm always making sure that the story is for me because of all the stories that come to me. Some of the stories are not for me as a writer. So I said, well, is this something that I can do? And I found out it was. I had to gently, it's called Baby Wings for Grandmother. I put it in first person. I decided not to have the narration. I decided that, a 9-year-old boy could tell this story. And it came to me because I remember when we were preparing for my mother's earthling goodbye, if you will. And I saw the children, and I remember it was one particular family member. Of course, I won't mention any names, and I just remember him having his hands in his pockets, but I could sense the sadness there. And a lot of times children, we don't know, or we sometimes we don't even think that maybe they're going through something about that. And so I really grabbed a hold to that memory that I had. And I remember even before that, he was talking about his connection with grandmother. And this could be any grandmother. Children sometimes before grandmother passes, they'll talk about grandmother's so kind, or oh, I love
Yeah.
grandmother's sweet potato pie, or oh, I love the way she does this, or can I go to granny's? And I'm a grandmother now. And so I really grabbed a hold to that story, and it turns out to be so beautiful. It'll be here in 2 weeks. So the
Oh,
next
I
time,
can't wait.
mhm,
Can't wait. Yeah,
I'm so
I think
happy
that's,
for the people that
yeah.
have been waiting for it too. I'm so happy
No, I
that
am because when we spoke, like I felt like you're just kind of speaking to me and my children because I was raised by my grandmother, and my grandmother was
oh
also
yeah,
very close to my oldest daughter. And so when we lost her in 2015, my daughter was 10 at the time. And so I just
right,
remember not having, we asked her how she was feeling, if she had any
right,
questions, but for that 10-year-old mind to process what that was like, I didn't have the words to
yeah,
speak to that. So now that we have a tangible tool that they can
yes,
open and
yes,
revisit, there's such beauty in that. So I just
yes.
applaud you for
Thank
going
you
there
so
with your
much.
books.
Well, thank you. I
Absolutely.
applaud you too, though, as an author, and to have this platform. So you're to be applauded as well. I just, I'm excited too. I mean, I'm grown. I'm an adult, but I also love reading the books. I really do.
Yeah.
I've read over and over again to make sure. And that 9-year-old boy, he just led me. He just kept leading me, and I kept understanding how all of this was fitting in without telling the story. But mothers and grandparents and aunts and uncles and friends of the family, the children, they're going to be really happy because one of the things that I see as an author, we are now at a point in our society, which is so it's fun. Everything is so fantasy world. And Nothing's wrong with that. I love amusement parks. I love a lot of all of that. But I think it's so wonderful, though, when a child can say it's okay to read this book and to
Yeah.
have these feelings.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be really great and helpful.
Yep. I think that speaks to the whole mission of, ushering in a reading rebirth, just being able to give kids like that love that I had of reading.
Right.
And yeah, I myself, I don't write
You read
children's books. Maybe I will in the future, but I think you having such a strong catalog of various things, it's not just one
right.
particular genre, but
Yes. I
various things. I think
never
that's
thought.
wonderful.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never thought until my mother became my muse. I didn't know that I even could go in that direction. I knew I'd already written children's books, but I'm a poet. And so it was much easier for me to not have to adhere to the restrictions of our language, and that's
Yeah.
any language. You have guidelines. And so for a long time, I wrote poetry, and people just love it because I could do what I wanted to do. If I
Yeah.
wanted to use two exclamation points, I could. If I wanted to use repetition in an unconventional way, I could.
Yeah.
And so when I embarked upon children's stories, I started asking myself, what are the God, what do I do? How do I get this story across to children in a way that um, is okay for them to be able to say, okay, there's that period there, there's that comma there, there's that, everything is, the way it's supposed to be within the language that I speak. And at the
Yeah.
same time, have that warmth there of where they could feel like a journey, So
Yeah.
that's been something. I've done a lot of research. I've reached out to people. I've reached out to some of my earlier books that I used to read as a child, but when I'm writing, I tend not to read anything, but I have done that
Yeah. Yeah.
because I do riddles. And that's another thing. My mother loved riddles, so and I've done it for first graders, second graders, high schoolers, seniors. I also had with the riddles, it felt like poetry to me. But
Yeah.
I still
I can
didn't
see that.
understand the riddles things, but I figured it out just through trying to remember some of the things that the riddles my mother would tell me, trying to
Yeah.
understand that mind. And then I also, as I said, I have a novel coming out, which is very different,
Okay.
but it's the
Yeah.
same in terms of um, the elements, the elements that I pull on. All of my writings have those same, the rain, the sun, the snow, the
Can
moon.
you give a little bit of a backdrop on like what it's about, or do you want to keep that closed until you
I'll
get
just,
closer?
I'll no, I'll say this. I won't do that to people. I'll say that, yeah, the story came to me. I remember being so tired coming in from work, and uh, they're twins, and one of them is an avid swimmer. And I remember being so tired and asking this character, "What do you want from me?" And this is literally the true thing that happens with me as a writer. And
Yeah.
I found out what she wanted is for me to tell her story, and she just wanted me uh, to commit and stick to the
Mm.
story. And that's what I did. And I had to keep finding out. And it's been a long, long journey. So, but I'm ready.
I really hope that all the other authors that are watching and paying attention and listening to this, what you just said is the power of commitment. Our characters want us to commit. That is such power that I think I needed to
Yes.
hear at this moment because I have not been committing. So
They
no,
want a commitment. They want
yeah,
the story to be told. And so that's why I tell people, I say, well, I'm a vessel because I don't go out picking the stories. The stories come to me. And yeah, and I find that the more the character has to say, the longer it is for me to weave everything together, because I have to say, okay, is this it? Is it? And I find myself laughing about things, or being upset about stuff, or saying, hey, this is this right? And as
Emotion
writers,
goes
you're a
into it.
writer. As a writer,
Yeah.
sometimes we wanna say, okay, no, that's not, but no, that's what it
Yeah.
is. And then
Exactly.
yeah, and people ask me too, oh well, they ask me a lot about, oh yeah, because you got to write for people, and I said, no, 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 no. I write for myself first. It has to get past me first,
Yep.
because and that's really what it really is. Because if that story gets past me and I'm feeling really great about it, someone else is going to feel great about it. So I tell people, yeah, they come to me because I also am a creative writing coach, and they come to me, and that's the first thing they mention is, yeah, because I want to make sure. You're never going to, as a writer, please everybody. But
Yeah.
it's those people that connect to you as a writer, and they'll just come over and over again, which people have, to get your stories. And I
Right.
appreciate that. I appreciate
You're
my
doing an
readers.
amazing job. Such an inspiration and so
Yeah.
much to learn. So,
Mhm.
where can the people find all your books and your work? Like, I think
Yes.
everybody should have a copy of this in their
Thank
arsenal,
you.
but where can people
Yes.
find your work?
Yes. Benjamin's dream of owning his own business is actually at Time Tested Books. That's one
Okay.
place here in Sacramento. Uh, Also, every first and third Saturday at Florence Square Mall, and that's right there on 20. It's on Florin and 24th Street. And the big Sojourner Truth Museum, the building that sets to the back, it's just everybody has to be there and see it, and it's unbelievable. Um, and then also, I the Central Library, starting in December, the main one. I found out you have to donate one. They'll accept one book. So I'll be donating the Shabby Greenhouse on Tulip Street to them, and they'll file it in. They won't accept more than that, and so a lot of research I've been having to do, and then Leah Tata Elementary School has um, Tangerine Baby Doll and Nigerian Dear Brother. They have a lot of them, and Growth Public School System, because I do story time with Miss Anya. But if you're not able to make it out to the mall, if they're not able to make it out there, that's fine, because you can go to my website. I have a website. A lot of people order. It's www.anyacreativity.com. Now let me spell Anya, because it's Anya. So it's www.anyacreativity, ANYACreativity.com. And people do go there. So I have a physical address that they could come get the books. And I also have a online bookstore where they could actually, at the comfort of their home, they can get the books. And in the near future, depending on, you know, what my vision is moving forward, there will be other locations that they can just go right in and
Awesome.
look up.
That's awesome. Well, no, I appreciate your time. And I'm actually going to add the link where everybody can go and get your
Thank
work.
you so much.
So I'm going to add all that to the website. I'm going to add your social media because I really want people to find out about you, for those who
Thank you
haven't, and
so
then for
much.
those that are already following you, I want them
Mhm.
to know that you have more to come and that
Oh,
you're going to have
yes.
a bigger platform.
Oh,
So
yes. And Simone,
absolutely.
yes, I forgot to mention, I'm going to be at Make-A-Wish Hiram
Yes, yes,
Johnson.
yes. Yes, that's
Yes,
right. We
I'm going
talked
to be
about
there
that.
on the 2nd. That's the only time I
Okay.
won't be at my brick and mortar. I'm going to be right here. I'm going to be here.
I'll make sure
That's
that
the
they have that
only
information
time.
too.
Yes.
Okay.
And don't forget, in February, I'll be at the Black Convention Center here in Sacramento.
Okay.
The Black
Sounds
Expo.
good. Black
Yes.
Expo
Simone,
Center.
thank you so much. And please,
No,
you have
you're
to give me that
welcome.
and call me. I got some unfinished business. That's really great for
Absolutely.
authors. Thank you so much.
It was
And
a
thank you to
pleasure.
my readers. Yes, it's been a pleasure.
Yes.
And thank you for this platform.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. You have a good
Yes.
rest of your afternoon. And I'm going to plug you guys with all of her info. Appreciate you
Thank
guys
you.
for tuning in. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.